Mike Bledsoe here with Grant Oddball Fitness Thomas, and today we're going to be talking about rhythm, dance, and flow.
Yeah,
I think so. Rhythm, dance, and flow. Right? Why are we talking about that? We're always talking about health and fitness. How is this applicable?
I always think of Michael Scott talking about dance.
Yeah! Okay, dancing! It is a primal art form used in ancient times to express yourself with the body and communicate.
He's talking about how it's a primal movement, way to express your body, communicate, work through things, connect, all these things. And that's what I really find when I am dancing with rhythm and flow, or just moving with rhythm and flow. And this is something we can train for.
I remember I was hanging out with Max Shank a couple years ago, and we were having a training session. You know who Max is? Mm-hmm. Dude is amazing.
Absolutely.
And he goes, you know what would make, are you open to some coaching? I said, sure. He goes, the thing that you can improve the most is, that's gonna give you the biggest bang for your buck. And I'm like, all right, which muscle am I gonna train all this? He goes, your coordination and rhythm. So he gave me paradiddle and some exercises that required me to have rhythm and coordination for the exercises, and he was spot on. All of a sudden, all my movement became more athletic, and not only that, my moves on the dance floor got better.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be real. Why are we working out in the first place? I mean, as guys, I mean, I can't speak for the women, but I mean, it's about mating here. It's a mating dance. It's a mating ritual. I gotta look good. I gotta look good when I'm sitting still. I gotta look good when I'm moving, and that shit translates. Not just on the dance floor, but in life. If I have rhythm and flow and I'm walking down the street, it looks a lot different than someone who looks all robotic.
Absolutely. Whether you're walking, whether you're dancing, whether you're playing sports, this applies to any sort of human activity that you're doing, and we can tap into that rhythm and train for it.
So outside of being really good at volleyball or being on the dance floor, just having rhythm and better coordination puts us in better harmony with the environment.
Yeah, I would say the environment and also oneself. So I always like to talk about the natural rhythms that occur with ourselves and in the environment. So we've got the heartbeat and we've got the breath. We've got these things naturally built in. And then on top of that, we've got the circadian rhythms and all this. So it's a part of life. And by tapping into our own rhythm, finding our own steps, our own flow, we can really come home to ourselves. And then, as we were talking about with the postural stuff, be able to be open to our environment and interact with our surrounding environment in the ways that we want to.
So the law of correspondence is, you've probably heard this, maybe not referred to as the law of correspondence, but as below, so above, so above, so below. Mm-hmm. And one of the things it talks about is what's happening at the micro is happening on the macro and vice versa. And the better you can understand the micro, the better you understand the macro. And the better you understand the macro, the better you understand the micro. And that's why it's important to study both. So finding and studying beyond the rhythm inside of yourself is going to put you in better harmony with the bigger world. And so one of my friends, Daniel Schmachtenberger, dropped this on me at one point, is we were talking about having ritual around cycles. And so we're talking about maybe finding rhythm from moment to moment with dancing, but think about, we have the solar cycle, which is a year, 365 days. And then we have a lunar cycle of 13 of those in a year. And then we come down to daily cycles and so on and so forth. And it's like, oh, when you start thinking about it from this solar cycle all the way down to a cellular cycle and realize that we're connected all the way through from the smallest little piece of our beings all the way to the entire solar system and beyond that, that's fucking incredible. If that's not important, I don't know what is. So, Grant is going to teach us how to get that rhythm, that microcycle down for ourselves so we can be in better harmony with the rest of the universe. We're getting into rhythm, dance, you know the deal. And if you're one of those people that are afraid to get on the dance floor because you're afraid of what other people are thinking about you, you can practice with us in your own living room by yourself. And only Google is going to be watching you.
That's
They're
right.
a bunch of nerds. They know how to dance anyway.
So today, really one of the big things to focus on when it comes to developing rhythm and dance and flow in your body is getting those joints moving more effectively. And there's two spots that I really like to focus on with people. That's gonna be the hips. All the good things in life come from the hips, everything, right? And then we also got the shoulders, and particularly what's happening through the torso and the rib cage right here. We want to be able to connect those shoulders and connect those hips. Call those the four corners. And if we do that, good things happen. So to start off, Mike, we're gonna face the camera here and we're gonna get into the hips. So a lot of people do the pelvic tilt. So let's just start off with that, but we're gonna do a little bit more of some fun stuff with here. So we're gonna tilt the pelvis back, tuck it under, really making sure that we're stacking the spine, having those eyes up. Remember, if you're dancing or you're moving around a room, you want to be able to connect with your environment. You want to be connecting with people, right? So Mike, now what I want you to do is we're going to make this a little bit more sexual here. You're going to dip, squeeze the glutes as you come under. So we're right here and we're going to do a pelvic roll. And I want you to really try to find some relaxation through those hips as you're going through this, finding some flow. And then the other piece, you're already doing it, Mike, is smiling. So smiling is gonna be relaxing for the nervous system and it's gonna help you out there. Now we're gonna go ahead and stick that butt back. Oh yeah, right here.
That guy's getting excited.
Yeah, so right here, and then something we can do, if you're really struggling with relaxation or getting into the flow, getting into the movement, I want you to put your hands behind your head or behind your ears, and there we go, all right? So right here is a great way to open up the hips. Now Mike and I are pretty.
Do this in the gym.
Do it in the gym.
Do this in the gym while everyone's watching.
Yeah.
You'll get a reputation. You know what? That girl you've been wanting to talk to, she might come talk to you.
You're gonna be moving better than her. So, okay, now we're gonna do lateral hip or pelvic circles here. So Mike and I are just gonna act like we're bumping hips right here. So we're just gonna go. Yeah. So sinking down just like that. And we're just opening up that pelvis, the hip center right here with some fun stuff. And as I said, smile, put the hands behind your head, whatever you need to do. There we go. Let's go ahead and switch directions. And right here already, I'm not sure which way you started. There we go. And right here.
Oh, this one feels different.
Oh yeah, you're gonna feel some difference there. So with that being the case, right, find some stuff to help open up right there. Okay, so now from there we're doing some hip mobility, and you know what, I'm gonna turn on the metronome right here. I use this little sequencer here, so we've got something right there to move with as we're going through this. And Mike, let's come up to the upper body right here. So we did some scapular circles already, but now we're gonna alternate. So we're gonna go. Trying your best to stay on rhythm. And you can start with more isolation through the shoulders there and gradually start to create that figure eight through your body. And you can reverse that. It's gonna add a whole new effect. You already opened up your hips a little bit, so let's reverse it here, and I want you to start pedaling a little bit through the feet right here. So as you sink into one side right here, you're gonna pedal on this foot. And you could even start to create some figure eights through the shoulders right there. So you see your hands coming forward, I'm tapping a butt. Whatever you want, you know, pushing energy, whatever it is.
Let's call this the tapping ass.
Tapping ass right there. Slap ass.
I got excited. I got ahead of it.
And what we're doing here as well is we're starting to access the coils, the kinetic chains of the body. So you're seeing this, and I want Mike to just continue to go right here, but we're seeing this connection. So through wrist, hands, elbow, up through the shoulder and into the back right here, we're creating a chain. And the same thing goes through the legs right here. So I want you to think of, as you start to develop more dexterity through here, getting expressive with your movement. So now I'm reaching out, now I'm incorporating my hands, whatever it may be, I'm having some fun with the metronome. So we've created some of that lubrication through the hips. We've opened up through the shoulders here. And I want you to think of that figure 8 motion happening from here and through those hips as well. Simply moving like that, and you can reverse it too, it's gonna be a different feel. Pedal those feet, creating this full body locomotion. What you'll notice, this is very similar to how we walk around. Maybe just a little bit more swag. A little more swag. And as you're going through that, I want you to feel the connection between your hands, even up through the wrists, elbows, shoulders, into the back, this chain right here, and how you have these 4 corners, the 4 kinetic chains right here, and you can just play around with that. So you've already opened things up. You can just play around with those chains. One more thing I want you to think about here is eyes up. Okay? Like you're shadow boxing, or you're connecting with somebody. We're dancing with each other, we're connecting. And play around with the different speeds too, so. Have some fun with it, okay?
All right. If you want to groove with Grant, here's your chance.
Make mistakes. Go with the flow.
Oh, where can they find more of you, Grant?
Oddball Fitness. Find me there. Instagram, website. Let's dance.
Thanks for joining us today. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our content that's coming out. If you want exclusive content, go to thebledsowshow.com.